the channel. Now today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be fitting an EDS inlet. Wow, a genuine fake EDS inlet. Basically, I've had this inlet for about 5 weeks now. I just haven't got round to fitting it. Obviously, I had the turbo issues, and then a few little things have cropped up, so I've not really had a chance. But now I'm on the way to James's to get it on. So I'll try and walk through best I can to how to fit one. But I've done one before with James. We did his, so we've got a vague idea of how to do it. But you know me, I'll film anything. I just wanted to get it on now because I need to get the car back in for a map tweak. It's doing me head in, having to baby the car everywhere. I mean, I'm averaging 34 miles to the gallon, so that shows how much I put my foot down in the car. I literally baby it everywhere. So obviously I've had the cams in, I've had the new turbo on, so I just don't want to risk putting my foot down really. So I'm gonna head up to James's now, and then I'll make a start on the video. Right then, we're here with the main man himself, James. Obviously you need to start off taking, if you've got running a stock, I doubt you're running a stock intake system for your intercooler if you're putting an EDS on. So obviously you need to take all this off first, take your top hat off, and once you've done that, we'll move on to the next bit. So obviously once you've took your top hat off, you need to remove your throttle body, which is just loose, and then what you need to do is you need to unplug this here. It's a bit of a pain to unplug. So obviously if it's never been unplugged before, it's going to be really stiff, which I assume this is why mine's so stiff. But once you've unplugged that, you can move the throttle body out of the way. There's nothing else holding the throttle body on. Literally the bolts of the top hat is what hold the throttle body on. So once you've done that, it just comes off. It takes about 5 seconds. Obviously once you've took your throttle body off, you've got earth straps. There's one here which we've already unbolted, and there's a couple down here which you need to undo as well. But we will explain what you do with these earth straps, obviously with the new inlet, because obviously it's going to be completely different. Right then, you've got a breather hose on your throttle body that goes here. We just took that off. I'm just taking the bracket off as well that holds it, that clips it on, just to make our life a bit easier when we're removing the inlet manifold, because it is a bit of a pain to wiggle out. But yeah, obviously we took off the breather hose for there as well, just to give you more access. Yeah, it's just a case of just undoing everything really until it comes off. And obviously we undo that bolt there, that's for the alternator bracket. I'll probably undo that one as well. Yeah, probably need to move the alternator out of the way, don't we? So, well, the bracket out of the way completely to get the inlet out. Right then, we're still in the middle of unbolting things. This bolt here, this 13mm, it's right down the back of the inlet, so make sure you undo that before obviously you start taking the inlet off, because you struggle, I imagine. Obviously we took the earth straps off here, this bolt there, and that's a case of getting the ECU off itself, which is a couple of Torx bolts. Right then, as you can see here, the ECU is undone, so you've got just 3 bolts holding it on. There's one there, and one underneath, Torx bolts. So now it's a case of we took off the part of the rail, the fuel return, so let's obviously do the feed. So we're going to take the rail off with the electrical connections here. Right, as you can see, the fuel rail's out. We just took it all off as one piece, so it's just sort of angled out of the way now, so we can get access to the nuts on the inlet manifold, as you can see down there and over there. So then hopefully, I mean, people do this differently. They obviously disconnect more to get this out of the way, but in the day, it's just got to give ourselves enough room for to get this inlet out. Getting the stock inlet out is a lot more harder than putting the new one in. But we'll update you when the inlet's off. Obviously the inlet manifold's loose now. To move this plug off here, I don't know if you can really see that bit there, you just push that in, then lift it out, and that releases it. So obviously you look at the yellow bits thinking, oh, you push them together to pull it out. You don't. It's this bit here, which you can really see there, that one there. So the inlet's pretty much ready to come out now. We just push this back in just while we're undoing that. So I'll lift back out again now, and what I'll do is I'll hold this out of the way so we can get the inlet out. So it's ideal for if there's 2 of you doing it, it makes life a lot easier. Right then, as you can see, the old inlet's out. Obviously you can compare it to the new one. You can see the dramatic difference. And obviously that bolt I was talking about earlier, that's where it goes there. So if you're trying to undo the bolt on the back of the inlet, that's where you're sort of feeling around there.
Showing the bracket on it.
Yeah, so also down here, I don't know if you guys can really see the bracket down there, it's just there. Also, just bear in mind, don't panic, you will see a pipe. Where is it now? It goes to nothing. Yeah, just on the back of the ECU, you can't really see it, but on the back of the ECU there's a vac line that goes to nothing. That's just your ambient pressure, so there's nothing to worry about with that. So yeah, first thing, right, the most easiest part of this installation, right, is the inlet comes with this gasket here. So the first thing you need to do with that, this is the easiest bit, is go to your bin and throw it in there, because it's absolutely pointless. What you need to get yourself is a proper OEM gasket or equivalent, which is obviously what James is unpacking now. It's a Victor Rhines one. So don't use the gasket that comes with it. They're no good. Buy an OEM one. It's just better. Saves you any leaks or anything like that. So we're going to prepare the inlet now, get everything ready to put back in the car. Right, and obviously we put all the fittings in. You need to take this fitting off the inlet, which is just here, off your old one. So you need to reuse that one, which is that. Obviously make sure you PTFE all the threads. Same with this way. This is obviously this is the way around. It's the little one on that side. So it's basically the same as this really. You've got the big one on the left, not on the right. Obviously it's the other way around if you see on the actual car, but you know what I mean. As long as they match. Also, just to let you know, when you buy, if you buy one of these fake inlets, you will have to either get the face skimmed or sand it down yourself. Same with that, and just to make sure, because they come all painted, which is going to give you nothing but issues if you try and put that on with it painted. So yeah, so let's crack on getting it installed then. Obviously, to reduce the chance of any leaks, we're using something called Hylamar Blue. Some people recommend it, some people don't. James did it on his Astra, had no leaks. John, who had a white Astra Nürburgring, did it on his, he had no leaks. So take a bit, you can use this if you want to, but it just reduces the chance of any leaks. It's Hylamar Blue, so it's fuel resistant, so it's not going to crumble or anything like that. It gets sucked into the car. Obviously you need to give it a chance to go off as well.
You're best to spread it with your fingers as well, rather than just pasting it on, because then you've got control of where it's going.
Well, exactly that, yeah.
Rather than it going everywhere and squeezing into your inlet and everything, you can paste it and it just goes where you want it to. Doesn't look the cleanest, but it's the best way to do it.
No, 100%, mate. Obviously you need to do both sides and then put it on the car. Well, as you can see, the inlet's on. We obviously haven't put the injector oil in. We're going to put some Vaseline around the O-rings so they're going nice. Also, just bear in mind, the brake servo, you have to turn the end, so the bit where it comes out, like it looks like a rubber block thing and it comes and bends, you need to sort of rotate it, so it's, instead of going out and down, it's going out and up, if that makes sense. So it can go up and you just clip it underneath to the bit where I showed you earlier. We had to take the old one off there. So yeah, we're getting there. Use it's on. So like I said, I'm going to put some Vaseline around the O-rings on the injectors, push the injector rail back in, and then it's going to be a case of basically getting to sort the bracket out, working out how that goes together to obviously fix all the earth straps and everything else too. Right then, the injector rail's in. A bit of a, didn't go in the best. It took us a bit of a while to wiggle it in, but got there eventually. So now it's just going to be a case of sorting out the ECU bracket. James has just gone to get his car keys because he's left his car keys at home, so we can have a look. We can't quite remember which way around the bracket goes and how it bolts up. You will need your own nuts and bolts for it though, definitely. So yeah, it's just that bit. Once I know, once we've sort of refreshed our memories of how to do it, I'll obviously show you guys as well. So obviously you guys will know when you do your save you messing around. But yeah, it's getting just hope it doesn't leak or I don't have any problems with it. You know what my looks like, guys. You know it's not the best, but fingers crossed, eh? Right then, we've got it in. Basically, you need you reuse some of your two bolts here. Put an earth strap either side on each bolt. So one earth strap there, one earth strap there. Then you need to nut and bolt one there. And obviously there's one just down there as well. So you need your own nuts and bolts for that. And obviously that's what bolts the ECU to this bracket here, and obviously it goes into there, straps through that. So yeah, getting there now. It's a case of plumbing everything back in now, I suppose. Right then, we're just in the middle of putting everything back together. Obviously the fuel lines are reconnected and everything's bolted up there. Just, you might need to do this with your car, guys. You might need to shorten down this vac line here. Basically it was too long and it's just basically bending on itself. So we shorten down this bit here, then we shorten down this bit here just to see it as a nice bend. You'll understand what I mean when you come to do it. As the other, before we cut it down, it was just bending round on itself because it was just too much of it. So you have to shorten it down for it to obviously go back together nice and clean like that. So we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Right, as you can see, we're all back together now. Everything's all assembled, so it's just gonna be a case of priming the car a few times, make sure there's no leaks. and start it and pray. Pray no leaks and pray no air leaks, but we'll see. Right then, I've just been for a test drive. I've just been having my hair cut, so I thought it'd be a good excuse to take the car for a test drive. No problems at all. Weirdly, it feels a bit smoother, but other than that, it seems okay. No problems, no misfires or anything like that. So obviously I'm not going to put my foot down because I know for a fact if I really boot it, it'll just run like absolute pants because it's not been mapped in. So obviously I'll just carry on babying the car like I have been for a while. But I want to say a huge thank you to you, James. Massive thank you. You're a legend, mate. Thank you for helping me today. Couldn't have done it without you, which is why it's been sat in my room for like weeks. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, guys. I always appreciate it. Drop a comment as well. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one.